Hey NDRL fans, Adam Fell with Walker Products. Excited to announce that we're partnering with NDRL again for the 2026 season, which includes a grand prize, all expense paid trip to Las Vegas for Apex SEMA. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you out there at the track.
Live but recorded, it is the LineLocked podcast. Well, it is the NDRL LineLocked podcast. Official.
We love official.
Live and recorded. Did I totally miss that part?
I didn't realize how much I talk like Trump, and I didn't realize it. It's official.
You are fake news.
There we go.
It sounds
Every
just
time.
like that. I didn't realize that, but yeah, I speak a lot like that.
Oh, man.
All right,
This is episode number 3.
3.
We just got off of talking to Jeremy Schell. He is our Pro Gas champion for 2025.
What a conversation that was.
Oh, my gosh.
That was so much fun.
That was crazy.
You see how easy it is, folks? Come on, we had to get through all these champions. We have to get through some of this upfront work that we need to get done. Like today, we got to talk with Shane.
Yeah.
But once that happens, then it's just all fun.
Yeah.
We get to talk to you guys, get to talk to sponsors. It's going to be a lot of fun,
Yeah, so bring out your party balloons.
Maybe we should get some party balloons.
Yeah.
All we need to do is, we just want some exciting, fun people on here, and I think we got plenty of them. We have already had some
Oh
offers.
my gosh. Going by the numbers that Butch was talking about, how many unique racers we have for 2026 or 2025.
Yeah.
It was like 900 and something.
That was entries, unique entries
Yes.
per, yes.
Yeah. So that's
We had 540 unique entries in about 540
Yeah.
unique drivers race with us last year.
yeah.
So there's plenty of people out there. I know you have good stories, and if you only got one good story, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just line you up with a bunch of other people that have good stories, and then we'll just make a whole episode of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be cool. So reach out to us. You can. We don't even have an email set up. I didn't think about that. Did we?
We don't.
We don't. We have linelockpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah,
don't we?
we sure do.
Yeah, so send us an email, linelockpodcast@gmail.com. It's going to be up here. It may not actually be that. I know it's something like that. Email us to tell us you want to be on or whatnot. Good job, bad job, I don't care. But the big important thing is we need you to like, subscribe, and comment. So anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all that kind of stuff, there's places on there to subscribe. Make sure you do that.
Yep.
And if there's a place to comment, put in there, how beautiful I am today, or how good my voice sounds. Just make me feel good about what I'm doing here. If you could do that, that would be great. It really gives us some traction. It gets us up the charts so people can find us. Really, what we're doing here is trying to grow the whole thing. We like doing it. So we're kind of growing us, but by doing that, it's going to help NDRL grow as well.
Yep.
Because it's going to reach people that may have not already seen or heard of what we do here.
Yeah.
And it's arguably a pretty cool thing that we do. We
Yeah.
get to drag race with a bunch of friends. It's awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff coming in 2026. That's what we're here to talk about today. The first thing, though, unless you have something else to say.
Nope, go ahead.
We need to quickly talk about the fantasy thing. We've already talked about it once before in the last podcast, but let's just real quickly. The Fantasy League, you will have an email sent to you when you sign up for the NDRL membership for this year. You'll have a claim ticket. You click on it. All you got to do is pick a pin out, and it'll give you to a waiting dashboard. It'll tell you when it's going to be open. But once you have the pin set, your email set, you're now an active user, and it's as simple as that.
And so the Fantasy League is actually picking drivers, one from each class, which there's going to be 7 now. We're going to get to that in just a second. 7 drivers that you're going to pick within a budget.
You'll have a budget.
And then how well your team does is how you finish at the end of the year.
All the rules aren't finally set yet because we are still kind of doing some draft runs and figure out what works, doesn't work. But there'll be bonus points here and there. The driver's pricing will change per event depending on how they do the previous event. It's going to be just like a fantasy league for football.
Yeah.
But for our league and real life points is what will drive this whole thing going forward. And there's money to be won. The championship at a minimum is going to get $1,000. And since we pre-record these, it may even be more than that.
Yeah.
We don't know because we're actually looking for active sponsorships to run this league. But right now we're guaranteed $1,000 to win for the championship. And we're hoping to add some stuff to that. If we can, we're going to add event winner money. We're going to add runner-up monies, that type of stuff, if we can find the sponsorship. So if you or somebody you know would like to sponsor that thing.
Maybe you do something like, let's say, I'm just top of my head, like upholstery.
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 Oh, man, if you have a big, successful upholstery company that has heating and air inside their shop, man, I think you could probably afford to sponsor the Fantasy League. That's an inside joke that maybe you may or may not get. We'll probably discuss it here shortly. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. It's as hands-on or hands-off as you want to be. You're going to have team names set for you. You're going to have rosters set for you, so you don't have to log in at all. As long as you're a member, you're in for the money, and randomly you'll get stuff selected. You might win and not touch it. Yeah. So that's going to be cool. And if you want to be interactive, pop on there, change your roster, select your roster, select a captain if that's still a thing when we get to that point. And bonus points are there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to hopefully have the rules set by the end of January after we run some mock drafts to see what works, doesn't work, so I can give you a good layout of how it all works. And we'll do a whole episode on it. But that's all we need to talk about. I just want to keep it in your front of mind that the Fantasy League's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you sign up because there's going to be a cutoff date to stay in the money, just like everything else we have with membership. In order to win money from this, even though it's free entry, you don't have to pay a thing. All you have to do is just be a member. There is going to be a membership cutoff so that you can't become a member at the middle of the year and still win the big $1,000 prize. So there's going to be a cutoff. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but that'll be announced. You'll be emailed. Just look for the email, claim your Fantasy League account, and be ready.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got front half here?
Let's just get to it, because the biggest news that we got right now is the NDRL is adding a new class.
Yeah.
And so we really need to focus on that for this podcast.
Okay.
For this episode, because
a lot of stuff out there.
There's a lot of stuff out there. A little bit of confusion and stuff. It's kind of new. This is the first time NDRL has run it as their own class. We've had the Straight Axle Mafia guys have been racing with us, but they didn't get all the perks. According to Butch Hill, which we talked with 2 episodes ago, they didn't get all the perks that we get as NDRL members. So like the top qualifier, excuse me, the championship money and trophy at the end,
fuel winnings,
they're going to get all that now.
Banquet entry,
yes,
all that is going to be available to them because we're having a class, and it's not going to take away anything that they're doing. Mm-hmm. But we are going to dispel the misnomers. I believe we determine that's a thing.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. But we're doing whatever that is.
Yes,
because we're going to have one of our favorite people. Really is one of our favorite people. He's going to come on the podcast right now, and I think Chris is going to introduce him.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm just drawing a blank. The guy, the one, the only, the gas hole himself, Mr. Shane Lile. How you doing, buddy?
We should arguably we should just arguably screw that up every single time. That'll just be a thing we do.
I think that's the way it needs to be. Why prepare?
Why prepare? Zero preparedness. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Great. How are you guys today?
Not too bad. I believe that shop looks heated and cooled, right? What do you do in that shop?
Well, we do high-end interiors for street rods and
upholstery,
and like that.
Upholstery work.
Yes,
we were just talking about that. How crazy. Weird!
It is interesting. Did I just conjure a sponsorship out of thin air? Fantasy League?
Guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, so and I'm telling you, I see some of the pictures of the stuff that you do. It is amazing. I wish I could afford to have you do something. I may have something small just so I could say I had something done by some tight.
Like a toilet seat.
If I was as good as him, I would upholstery everything. Everything gets upholstery. It's probably the best work I've ever seen done. In person or in pictures. It is amazing, top-notch stuff. We will link somewhere so you can go. I assume you have some kind of website or something?
We do.
Okay, we will make sure it's linked somewhere that you can go check his stuff out, because it is I can't even put it into words how amazing, in the craftsmanship that goes in, and the quality is just, it's second to none, which I believe means first, right?
Yes. Yes, second to none. Yes.
I believe that means first.
Yes. First.
There's no one.
Well, Chris is second to second.
Yeah.
No, how does that work? He's second to third?
one.
He's second to one.
Okay.
There you go. Second to none is, you're second to one.
Jeez. Nice.
All right, so we brought you on because there's a lot of stuff going on with this gasser thing. There's been a big wave, man. You've done.
Oh yeah,
you've already done
excited.
You have already done a fantastic job with getting the name out there, getting people talking about it. But the problem with getting people to talk about it, you get people that have differences of opinions. You have people that are questioned on the rules because they don't understand. What we're going to try to do is we're going to talk about line for line of what the whole thing is about. But first, let's talk quickly about who you are and why the NDRL chose you to be a good representative for this gas class. If you don't mind, talking about yourself a little bit on that.
Well, I feel like the reason that I was the best fit is over the past few years with the Straight Axle Mafia running alongside NDRL, I've sort of managed the class anyway. And I'm familiar with NDRL. I've been there through all the events and working with Butch and with you guys. And it seemed like a good fit for everybody.
Absolutely, it is. I think that the gasser class is one of the more nostalgic classes to me. At least when I was growing up, that's what I saw a lot of was the high end cars, straight axle. And to me, it's just very nostalgic, very period.
It's one of the more raw and basic classes there is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really not allowed to have much of anything.
Yeah.
And we still got to race and put together the best races we can anyway. And it's tough.
You have a crowd following because of that. I don't know if it's just the racers' families showing up, but it seems like whenever you guys are out racing, there's always people in the stands. It's people enjoy watching it.
Absolutely.
It's really raw. It's really a man and machine type of situation. There's no electronic additors that you can to performance enhancing drugs. There's none of that. It's really cool. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say we chose you to be the class representative because of your long history with Straight Axle Mafia and having a bunch of people, already have good relationships with them to where we can make sure that both groups get the best out of this, right? Because
absolutely,
we are not trying to take the place of Straight Axle Mafia, but not at all. All we're trying to do is give an opportunity for anybody that wants it to be able to be part of our membership as well and get all the benefits that we get. Because currently you ran the last 6 race series you ran with us, you ran an aside with us where you had your own series within the Straight Axle Mafia, you kept your own points and you had a winner and all that and you had your own money, but you didn't get all those other perks that Chris just talked about. So that's really what we're doing is we're just giving anybody that wants it the opportunity to have the same stuff the NDRL is. Do you see it that way as well?
Absolutely. It was like back in high school when you went to your girlfriend's house for Christmas and everybody got presents, but you didn't.
Yes.
Okay, so
that is perfect.
That's exactly what it is.
That's kind of how it was. You know, we had a good time. We ate.
Yeah.
But we just didn't get any presents.
It's not like you're not invited, right? You're the boyfriend.
Yeah, we're invited.
Yeah.
And everybody's great.
Yeah. I don't think there's a more perfect example. A euphemism? Is that what that word? I'm on a bunch of stuff here. I'm trying to figure out. Maybe I'm on performance enhancing drugs.
Some brain power.
Yeah. I got
vocabulary enhancing.
Alpha brain.
Learning new words.
Yeah. I just learned that word yesterday. So,
Nice.
and I don't even know if I'm using it right. So the big thing is exactly what you said is it's not that nobody is not. You see, the thing is with the NDRL, you don't have to be a member to race with us anyway, right?
Right.
So we're not forcing anybody to do anything. All we're trying to do is give you the opportunity because we didn't have a class for you to be the opportunity. Same thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it was also due to like contract type reasons. I mean, NDRL has contracts with the tracks for the races. And then it was sort of like, another party thing. It was like, oh, hey, can I bring my cousin? They're coming. Oh, by the way, and you're going to have to pay them this, and this is what their entry fee is going to be. And they're like, what?
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, it was always okay, but it was always a little funny sometimes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's really no way to merge Straight Axle Mafia and NDRL because Straight Axle Mafia has 11 or 12 races of their own
right,
outside of the six
Right.
race series.
right.
And we tried to figure out the best way to make that happen. And it really, there just wasn't a good way to do that. And this was the easiest and best option.
I think it's probably the best option overall because it really allows both to do independently what they've always already been doing.
Correct.
You know, all we're doing is making it official. We're again to not harp on it too much. We are not trying to take anything away from what is the coolest, race program in the area for Straight Axle Mafia. The Gassers, Straight Axle Mafia. It's one of the coolest ones. We're going to have the second, or maybe even the most coolest here soon with the Nostalgia Gassers. But we aren't trying to compete with them. We're trying to give them opportunity. That's all it is.
No, and if you look at our 2026 schedules, I mean, there's no races on top of each other. I mean, everything should flow together nicely as it has in years past. And there's really no difference. I mean, minute little rule change here and there, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to get into the rules here in just a second.
Well, let me real quick, since we're talking about this.
Yeah.
If you were to become a member of the NDRL, which the new Gassers are going to be a part of members.
Right.
So here's what you get. It's $125 right now, right, to become a member?
Yes, it's all.
It may go up next year. We're not sure yet.
I believe they've. I don't want to speak out of turn because the problem is we can't.
Let's worry about next year.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you were a member and you have a gasser and you want to race with the NDRL as a member, you get a membership banner, which is valued at about $25. You get some stickers, $10. You get the championship T-shirt, which is the champions from the previous year. They're on a T-shirt with all of our sponsors on the back. And then you get the ticket for the awards banquet dinner. That's valued about $70 or so. So you're already getting your money back from that. You know, you put $125 in, you're getting probably the same value, if not more, out of stuff that we give you. If you race as a member, you have a chance to be, this is based on your performance, you have the chance to be the number one qualifier, which is a $150 gift card from Summit Racing. You have the chance to have the best package per race, which is another $250. You get the best or the perfect package, which is a trip zip on the reaction and a perfect number on the big end. It's $1,000 added until it's won for that season. So the first race, if you get a perfect package, you get $1,000. If nobody wins it till the last race, that's $6,000. That's a pretty big amount of money there.
That's big money, and it's hard to do, but it's achievable.
It's achievable.
And if I could interrupt real quick,
go ahead.
Last year at 2 races, the best package would have been won by a Straight Axle Mafia racer.
There's $300.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
It could have went to your all's group. If
right.
You know,
if you are the champion, you have what's called a gold card, which means for the whole next season you get your entry fees for free. That's a pretty big. That's about $900 value or so. That's a big deal.
Right.
You also have the chance. If you show up to all 6 races, your name gets put in a hat. They pull your name out. You get a trip to Vegas for the SEMA show, airfare, hotel, and some spending cash. That's valued at about $4,000 or so. If you win a race, you get 5 gallons of Sunoco race fuel, a case of JR1 race oil. And champions, going back to the championship, you get the championship belt, you get your room paid for at the banquet, and the year-end payouts and trophies for each of the top 5 in each class ranges from $400 to $5,000.
So just looking at that, for $125, you have the chance of winning about $20,000 if you win it all. If you win it all,
and if you win the championship, your car's on the T-shirt for next year.
Yep.
Correct.
And I think a lunchbox, right?
Yeah. Well, I believe all that's going to be.
Yeah.
We have to worry about 27 and 27, but right. I mean, that's in past. That's what we've done, and you're going to be part of all that. You know, that's what I'm saying. Is there's so much stuff that you were missing out that we just needed to give you the opportunity to be part of it, and I think we've melded that really well. I think you're going to be a great head because you're able to converse with them and you know them and explain all this to them. But this podcast is a lot for the people that don't know you personally that can't ask you. So that's what we need to deal with right now is we just need to go through some of these rules, some of the questions that we've seen, and let's just start from the very, very top. What does it require for you to be in this class?
It's very basic rules. The car itself needs to have a straight axle. And the reason for that is there's so many definitions and so many different ideas of what a gasser is. So you just have to choose and pick what you feel. The reason I felt that's the best way is because so many other gasser groups are straight axle only. There's a few that are not. Back when gassers were a thing, not all of them were straight axles, but they didn't have cars that run a bracket class or like pro gas or things like that. So you have to be able to differentiate some way or another. And the easiest way to do that is with a straight axle suspension.
Yeah.
And that way it just sort of, it defines what most people in their mind, when they think of a gasser, that's what they picture in their head. That's their immediate response to this is a gasser. And I just feel we should keep that image the same as, Straight Axle Mafia, the same as some other groups down south, the groups up north. I mean, it's pretty much the rules are the same everywhere as far as that goes.
What about years?
Years, there is a year cutoff. I know that it is the same year as the rest of the NDRL rules, right?
I believe
79.
Yeah. Pre-79. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
we don't see too many 70s cars jacked up.
You don't. There has been a few I've seen around. One guy races with the Straight Axle Mafia. It's a cool looking car. It fits, but you just don't see a lot of 70s cars.
And it has to be a door car with a straight axle because there's plenty of dragsters that's got straight axles. We've heard that before.
Yes. Well, so to keep that out and chassis cars out, one of the rules is your main frame rails have to be square or box tubing or a factory style frame. And a lot of the gasser groups out there have the same rule to keep chassis cars out, or there's altereds out there that have a straight axle, but they're all tube chassis, and you just don't want that in a gasser class.
Yeah, I just now reading that. No full round tube main frame. So it has to be must be a box or factory frame rail. That makes sense. No starting line ignition rev limiter. So
correct.
So no two steps, right?
No two steps.
So you leave off of either the trans brake or or when I say trans brake, you leave off the converter or you
converter, trans brake, foot brake, however you want to do it, but no two steps or three steps or I think a grid has something, but grids aren't allowed in this class either. So no programmable ignitions of any type.
Okay.
It has to be, 6AL, 7ALs.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be pretty cheap to get into this.
It is. And one of the cool things about it is however much you want to invest, you can build a car and be competitive.
Right.
I mean, that's part of the index part, and all the rules are so basic. So you can really throw a ton of money at it and have a really fast car and have all the cool flashy suspension or whatever, or you really don't have to. We joked all summer at the Straight Axle Mafia. I won the points last year, and it was down to the last round. And the guy who was second to me has one of the more basic cars out there. I mean, foot brake, HEI, ignition. I mean, just as almost, I think he mixes pump gas and race gas. I mean, as basic as you can get. And we beat on each other all year long, neck and neck. And he is tough. He's a great guy and a great racer. But it just goes to show you, we had both worlds right there, neck and neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the beauties of this kind of class is you can be competitive no matter how much you want to spend or be committed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just as long as the door car has a straight axle. Right. And then these other rules. The next thing on this list is you have to shift manually. So you cannot have a shift solenoid.
Right.
Okay. which
no air electric shift solenoids on the shifter.
Which is coincides with all these other, because a lot of people use the grid to do that, or even timers. But
right,
yeah. All right,
so or RPM, and there's some guys that have some slower cars, and believe it or not, they just put their car in drive.
Yeah, just let it shift on its own
and let it shift itself. So that's why it says in the rules, transmission must shift itself.
Okay, yeah,
because they're not manually shifting, but the transmission's doing it.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. We've already talked about the ignition box. No grid type systems or data recorders allowed. So you do not allow a race pack.
No race packs, no data recorders, no.
So raw.
EGT sensors.
What's cool? Obviously, I love all that data, so I enjoy it in my class. But I like the idea of if it's really cheap to get involved with this. I say cheap, budget friendly, I should say. Because the rule set is actually not allowing all these advancements that cost so much money. I probably got thousands of dollars in just race pack stuff
Sensors
alone.
And stuff.
And since nobody can run it, then you're not at a disadvantage by not having it.
Right.
And it sort of goes back to that old school guy or guys or whoever, ladies, that know how to tune a car, know how to watch it and feel it spin by the seat of your pants, or know if your converter's working. You just have to connect with your car in every level to tune it and make it consistent and make it run what it can.
You got to run your finger across it. Oh, baby. We need you to run this 610 right now.
I'm going to
put. You got to talk to them a little bit.
I'm going to put quarter-inch brake lines on you, baby.
You're going to brake so good.
I'm going to put my foot on your brake pedal.
You really got to be in tune with it. So one thing, the next one we're about to talk about is something that I saw a lot of people, and we're going to go through some comments and address some of these, not with names, but specific questions that people have had or talked about. But the throttle, no form of electronic or pneumatic downtrack or timed throttle stops allowed, which anybody that's been in the racing industry understands that particular throttle stop is for index racing, like 890 racing or whatever, where
super comp, super gas,
you take off and then the engine dies for a second and then it comes back. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about the throttle stop at the bottom of your pedal that has a bolt that you can adjust up and down so you can't give it so much throttle, right? Those are allowed. Or the ones that are on the carburetor itself that keep the throttle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both of those are completely
There's a lot
allowed.
of ways to do it. There's guys that have threaded linkages. There's guys that have a pin in their linkage where they change the length of the rod.
Yeah.
There's 100 ways to do it.
I'm just going to talk to my carburetor and say, I'm going to need you to be at 98% throttle on this one, baby. You can do this. You can do this.
And some people do it with weight. Some people do it with timing.
Yeah.
There's a few guys that are really close to their index and they just drive the finish line.
Here's one too that I've seen brought up and talked about, not for the right reasons or wrong reasons, but it's just something. Is you can't have anything bolted between the carburetor and intake that will restrict airflow, like the ET Genie, which is prevalent in all these other classes that we run.
Correct.
What's the theory behind that, so people understand?
It's more aesthetics. If you look under the hood and you see this nice fancy deal there, it just sort of doesn't fit with the aesthetics. Yeah. And it's never been allowed in any groups I've been around. So I didn't want it to be okay here and other people that want to come race say, we don't have the tools to compete, so we're not going to go. So I just sort of followed suit with that. And I figured it'd be best if they just weren't in the picture. Most all of us gasser guys got it all figured out anyway, so why add that to it? It
also goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago. I've got thousands of dollars in race pack stuff, and you could spend quite a big amount of money on a really high end restrictor plate system. Right. So if nobody can have it, it's just one less thing that you have to worry about affording to be able to be competitive. So I think it's great. I got no problem with that.
And most of the guys that have something that they make for their carburetor or the floor, you look around the shop, you get a couple pieces of metal, a bolt in your bolt drawer, and you kind of weld up some little deals. It's pretty primitive looking, but it works. And
it fits the aesthetic.
Go with it. It doesn't make necessarily things easy. There's a lot of data, a lot of trial and error to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, by data you mean pen and paper because you're not having no computer.
I mean, you make time runs and you're like, hey, look, if I turn this bolt 2 turns, my car slows down X amount of numbers.
Yeah,
and you got to do it over and over and over, and you just got to put in the work.
All right, so we're going to get to why it seems like most of this stuff kind of matters to reach an index. We'll say that, but we're going to explain why it's all kind of thrown out anyway here in just a second. But first,
all right,
there's going to be we need to talk about obviously no delay boxes allowed in the car. That's a given.
Right.
But the next one, this has been talked about, is no long throw trans brakes based on or switches. I've heard questions and comments about that one. What's your take on it? Because that's currently the rule.
Yeah. So again, I'm not sure of any groups that really allow that. And we're talking about like the just in time button, which a lot of no box guys use, super stock guys use, and it's a great button, but essentially it's just got built in delay in how it works and in its travel. And it's just, it's never been allowed. And because we have probably half the cars that are foot braking, it would just give the trans brake cars
that much more advantage.
Kind of an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
To keep things even.
Yeah.
We just say no.
And I'm liking the fact that you are thinking about the most grassroots people and then making sure that the guys that have some money aren't just overly have the ability to just run all these guys over because they have all this technology. So I really appreciate that you're putting that much thought into making sure that everybody can compete at the same level. I think it's great. We'll talk about why a lot of this stuff doesn't matter as far as tuning to an index. Historically, most classes and gassers run on quarter-second indexes. A lot of them. Some of them. The ones I know about.
That's the best way to say it.
Okay, the ones I know about then. The ones I'm familiar with, that's how they run. You've opened this up to tenths.
Right.
Which gives more ability to not need a lot of these things because you only have to get to the 10th versus get to the quarter, which is a way bigger spread. If somebody that's listening to this isn't in the drag racing world or has limited knowledge but is interested in getting into it, and we're just talking, the spread between quarters is a big spread. Maybe not so much an eighth mile, but huge in quarter mile. An eighth mile is what you guys are running, but it's a big spread. A tenth is a lot less spread that you have to kill or add to get to the number. So you don't need all the big, say, for instance, the restrictor plates or anything like that. Literally, you could do that. A tenth is with weight and throttle position.
You can do it with most cars, 40 pounds will do it. I mean, 2 degrees timing does it. I mean, it's very helpful. The reason I felt this was the best way to go, there's a couple groups down south. They run on 10th second indexes. There's 3 that I know of up north. They run on 10th second indexes. One used to run on half second indexes on quarter mile, and they actually changed to 10th second indexes, quarter mile and eighth mile. And that's a great event, but it just gives people, how can I say? Okay, I'm used to running on quarter second indexes. My car I run on the 6 flat index and eighth mile. So it won't affect me whatsoever. The cars that run on 650, 750, it won't affect them. It only affects the 25 and 75 indexes. So it's about a third of the cars. So it really doesn't affect that many people.
But you're only talking about a tenth fast or slow from that point, right?
Really, 5 numbers.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tenth swing one way or the other to get to it. It's totally manageable.
Right. And honestly, after Thanksgiving dinner the other day, I would have slowed down 5 minutes. So it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, okay, if you got a group that's used to running on 25s all the time and you got other groups that aren't, and the group that runs on 25s are like really good at it because they do it every week, are you going to travel 3 hours away and bring a knife to a gunfight race with these guys?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and arguably, it's just as easy to go the other way as it is to
Absolutely.
So it should be no real advantage to the people that are running on 25s that are running on 10s against 25s.
If you can hit a 25 index target, you can hit a 10.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's actually easier. So, and I've never heard anybody say, I don't want to go to that race. It's going to be a little easier for me to win.
Yeah, 100%. I think I think you made a good call on that. I think it's going to broaden the people that are willing to run the haul. And if you're only, since we are more of a regional race versus a localized race, we have to make sure that we're including these outside groups that don't normally. So I think it's the right judgment call. I know that there were some questions about it, but I think it's right.
Well, a few, but the feedback I've gotten over the last few days since the articles have come out has been great. I mean, people that I didn't even think would be interested in racing are showing interest.
Yeah.
And that's people outside of the localized region of where I live, here in Kentucky. I mean, it's exactly what I hoped for. Yeah.
No, it's this wave of publicity that we are seeing right now has been really impressive. There's been, and let's give some credit where credit due. You've put in a lot of work to make sure that the publicity is out there. So kudos and thank you for that, because it's going to help everything. But with that, like I said at the front half of this, is when you have that type of publicity, you run into some haters. You run into some people that think it should be done something different, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's what we're really here, is just to kind of talk about some of those concerns. First of all, what we've already done, we've addressed the rules. Now we can probably, if you have that up, we could probably start addressing some of these comments as they come up, and just kind of talk and chit chat about them. And then no names, because I don't want to call names.
So one of the biggest ones is, we've already kind of touched on it, but wanted to see your feelings anyways. There seems to be quite a few people that are saying stuff like 8th mile, that ain't drag racing. You got to stick with 1/4 mile. That's the only drag racing that there really is. You can't race 8th mile. So what's your view on that?
My view on that is, I feel like 90% of the people saying that don't race, and they very seldom visit a racetrack, but they will watch it on TV, and they may have raced 35 years ago in something slow, and that might be why they feel that way.
Man, Shane's up here hurting feelings.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
it's just people, if it was all 1/4 mile, then they would be on there saying, well,
it should be 8.
Yeah. So you got some of that too. As far as, there's a whole lot of 8th mile tracks. They run everywhere, every weekend. And I race almost every weekend. And so, so do a lot of other gasser people. Up north seems to be more 1/4 mile tracks available. Down south and in the middle of the country is mostly 8th mile tracks. So the majority of the cars, if your car can run 1/4 mile easy, it can also run 8th mile. If your car is set up for 8th mile, you can't really run 1/4 mile.
Broadening your base. Broadening your base.
And is 8th mile racing harder? Yeah. I mean, you got to get it all done in 660 feet. To me, 1/4 mile racing is super easy, because I'm so used to, at the 330, knowing where I'm at, knowing where my opponent's at, making decisions and getting it done at the finish line that fast. So now I've got a whole nother racetrack to just sit back and slowly calculate this stuff.
We just talked about that on the last podcast. So if you're listening to this, and this is the first one, we had another one before this, Jeremy Shell. We talked about this exact same thing. We have a new racer that's ran 8th mile, now running 1/4 mile, and having a really good, being very competitive. And he said the same thing. It's, I don't know if he said it or I said it. Probably I said it. Is, when you're used to 8th mile and it happening that fast, you got a whole nother track, or at least several seconds to make decisions. So arguably those guys are probably more advantage, especially with the 10th rule, because you're not trying to hit a 1/4 second on a 10th. You should be able to swing that very easily up or down. I don't. Yeah. I see what they're saying with the 1/4 nostalgia. I get it. I do too. And I enjoy it. Yeah.
There's just not a lot of opportunity for me to do it. I think since I've had this car, I think I've run 9 quarter-mile races.
Yeah.
I've won 7 of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they don't want it to be they really don't want it to be quarter mile because you can just win all of them. You know what I mean? You're trying to make it harder on yourself.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could, again, I see the argument both ways. I personally like 8th mile racing. I just think it's easier on parts. I like the excitement of because it happens so fast and all that type of stuff. I like 8th mile bracket racing. I love all that. But I do enjoy the nostalgic of being quarter mile. So I'm on the fence both ways, but I also think you're making the right decision because, again, you need to broaden your base on this. If a lot of cars run, they run their local stuff that is all 8th mile. Mm-hmm. They have the same opportunities as everybody else. And
just let me be clear. I don't dislike either one. I like them both.
Yeah.
This just happens to be the house I grew up in, so to speak. So this is where I'm going to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think again, you made a decision. You're running with it, and I think for at least right now, this is the right decision. I think this is this is what needs to happen. Obviously, in the future, if something changes or information changes or racers want something different, the best thing about the NDRL, it's racer driven. Mm-hmm. So if there's enough people that have enough qualms about it, they'll talk with you. And you'll make a decision differently. That's how this works. This is a democracy type of thing. Yeah, and we're here for the racers.
That's what I'm committed to do is what's best for everybody to get the most amount of cars there and everybody race and have a good time.
And the rule set you picked is the rule set we're going to run. And then again, at the end of the year, we're going to figure out if something needs to be adjusted or changed to make sure that the racers are happy. You are going to do that. So,
absolutely.
Right, tee up the next one so he can hurt some more feelings.
Well, no, actually, this one is one of my favorites because it almost answers its own question.
I love those. I love those. Tell me.
Okay. Nostalgic gasser, dumbest class to ever be revamped. Technology has evolved too bad people don't. Nostalgia. We don't want technology and nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what you're doing is you're doing it the way they did it back in the days. That's like saying, well, I got this brand new PlayStation 5, but I'm going to play all these Atari games on it from back in 1970 something.
I got a good saying about this.
Go ahead.
So as a fireman, one of my favorite sayings is, you know what firemen hate the most? They hate the way things are, and they hate change.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what this is.
Yeah, I mean, some people, I guess, just enjoy being a certain way on the internet. I mean, I guess if you got to feel important somehow, that's the best place to do it.
Yeah.
Because who else is going to watch it? But nostalgia racing's been around probably longer than, I'm not sure who said that, has been racing, and
yeah.
Well, it's an opinion.
I just don't. I think people like that don't understand the concept of what nostalgia track racing is. Like I understand where they're coming from. That there's so much technology. I get it, but that's all the technology is what's making it harder and harder to compete. The nostalgic part of it is what's making this more fun because you have less of the money and technology and that has to put into play. I don't understand the argument. I understand what he's saying, but I don't understand the argument.
Well, yeah, it's because he's saying, I want you to be nostalgic, but I want you to have all this technology in your car.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be nostalgic, like I was trying to use the PlayStation and the Atari, go get a real Atari box.
Yeah.
Fight on that.
Yeah.
Play against somebody and compete on that.
Let me ask you this, because this is something that's not specifically stated that I know of in the rules. Let me ask you, if I had a nostalgic car set up, to where I had a delay box because I ran bracket races with it for whatever reason. I don't know. Are you allowing people to just unplug those and put them to the side?
Absolutely.
So the wires can be there, the sensors can be there, but the brains can't be.
Well, there's no sensors.
Well, no, when I'm talking about race pack and stuff like that, if they could just unplug it, is that okay?
If it ain't in the car, I mean, if it's not in the car, it's not in the car.
But the thing, the unplugging the race pack is easy. Going around and pulling all the sensors from where they're at, that's the problem.
I mean. a sensor's nothing but a piece of metal and a header or whatever.
So
If it's not in the car. It's not in the car.
So yeah, so you're okay as long as the brains that runs those things isn't there. But it's okay if you want to run with us for our 6 races, but you do something else that you can use those. You absolutely can. They just can't be in for our races, and you need to make somebody aware that you have done that, so that when you cannot be what's it called when somebody talks or goes to the tech director and say, hey, you're cheating. Protest.
There you go.
So you need to make it aware, whoever's in charge aware that, hey, I have these things. The box is out. Here it is, type of thing. So that when somebody comes and says, hey, I see this guy has EGTs in his headers. I think he's running a race pack. That's not allowed. Our race director at this time is Mark Mesmore. He can go, yes, he's already spoken with me. He's got the box out. I checked. So it's as simple as that, guys.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of cars that are set up for delay boxes, and they'll either pull a pin and just unplug it, or we raced with one guy. He had it on Velcro, and his wife would hold it up and show us in the lanes every time. And
we got plenty of guys in Pro Gas and some other Pro Comp that run other stuff that do the exact same thing. Literally, it's all only, at least the delay box, it's only 4 wires. They usually use like a trailer connector to plug it in and take it out. So it's super easy. Yep. So if that's what's keeping you from racing, it's only because you're a little bit lazy. All you have to do is a couple bolts and a change of thing. Just unplug it. Yeah. But not only unplugged, it needs to be out of the vehicle, because that's where I think it.
Correct. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. Tee up the next one.
Well, I don't really have another one.
Oh.
Well, actually, though, I do want to touch on, remember I talked to you, Shane, about it. So we've had a couple people that's come in and said, and we've already touched on this a little bit. I used to race with the gassers back in the 60s or the 70s, and they don't have a straight axle. But that was what they raced with. You kind of touched on it earlier. What is the definition of gasser in what you are doing versus what they did back in the 50s and 60s?
And that is such a muddy area. And if you're on Facebook at all and any gasser pages, almost everyone has a different opinion. Half the groups have a different opinion, and none of them seem to be 100% legit. Everybody's extracted their favorite parts of it, or tried to say, well, it was before this year, then it's whatever. So there's no right answer on that I can answer honestly, because it would be half my opinion.
Yeah.
And every, there's some guys say, oh, you gotta have a stick shift, or it's not a real gasser. And I'm like, well, you got aluminum wildwood brakes on the same car, so that wasn't in the 60s either.
Yeah.
Neither was your aluminum block or your aluminum heads you spray painted black.
Yeah.
So who are you trying to fool here?
Yeah.
It ain't me.
That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't see it in here. I know, like in some classes, just gasser classes, they are to where if you have an aluminum block, you have to paint it black. I know that's not. I don't think it's in your rule set, right? Have you seen those rules? Because I've seen them in other places. They really want nostalgic appearing. And I can see where they're coming from, but it's not for what you're trying to do.
So it just has to appear nostalgic on some things.
Yeah. I mean, who in the stands can tell if your block's aluminum?
Right.
Yeah.
With the hood and fenders on a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's some of them that you don't have to have a hood and fenders to run with you, right? You just have to have a body.
Right.
So there's probably some cars out there that show the aluminum block right out. But that, again, to me, that doesn't define nostalgia. To me, it's nostalgic to, and we can go down tangents on this, but this nostalgic to me is what are you trying to do and do with? Okay, back in the 60s, if they had what we had today, they'd be running it, right?
Absolutely. But
on the flip side, there's some things that you can make the argument either way, but there's some things that they didn't have and couldn't have, like a 1985 Fox body, right? Because if they had that in the 60s, that's what they would be running their factory race cars. We've already talked about that.
They would be running a lot of stuff that they have now. Right. But there's some stuff that people run now that there's safety things, there's tires, there's brakes, there's all kinds of things available now that you have to run. that wasn't available then.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to be competitive in some old hard high crust slicks.
Do you think an aluminum block would actually give you an advantage, though?
Well, you could put the weight where you want it.
But would it give you an advantage?
Yeah, it gives you. There's advantages to it. It's just not the ones that you're thinking, because the parity in this class is the index.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter
if
there's no advantage.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm saying. So if you run a 6-second eighth mile, and you have an aluminum block, and then somebody has an iron block and it runs a 590.
Right.
It's not going to give you an advantage.
The parity is the index. Now there is advantage to having an aluminum block because you can put more weight on your rear tire and run the same index, right? So, ultimately the index is the parity. You know, if your fat block that is heavy can't short half it because everything's heavy and in front, then aluminum block helps that. Then it changes your index, but the parity didn't change. It's just the index.
Interesting.
Right.
All right.
I mean, if we were racing heads up, sure, there'd be an advantage.
Yeah.
But
on your indexes, it shouldn't be much of an advantage.
Right.
I can understand traction wise and all that, but
Right.
it's not going to be an advantage like having a two-step,
No.
where you can come off the line at, 7,000 RPM or something like that. Those are the kinds of things I'm thinking of when you think of, this is kind of like the IROC race of drag racing. I mean, everybody needs to be nostalgic and have the same advantage as everybody else.
Right.
So it's basically, like you said earlier, it's the driver and the machine. That's what's working, and it's the driver that's going to make the difference whether they win or not.
right, it's the driver and how you tune and drive and how well your car is built or able to handle stuff.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you're scraping on a budget or you own 30 hotels and got all kinds of money to throw at it. We're all on the same playing field.
Mhm.
And that to me is what's best. I mean, it just keeps it fair and keeps everybody wanting to compete fairly every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I'm looking at these rules, and I really think that you've really struck the good balance that this class needs to be very successful. You could go one way or the other: spend a bunch of money and go really fast and look cool, or not spend the money, still look cool, and still be very competitive. Either one is going to work.
Absolutely.
And I think you've struck a really good balance in what nostalgia means as the definition that you're applying. If somebody else's definition of what nostalgia is doesn't fit this, well, I'm sorry, we just difference in opinion. But this is the rule set we're running. That's all it is. And you have to draw a line somewhere, or why not run ProGas? Or why isn't ProGas running in your class? It could go either way on that.
Right.
So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to argue over it a whole bunch, but we just wanted to give you an opportunity to come out and explain what the nostalgia means to you. And I think you've done a pretty good job.
And nostalgia to me is when I glance at or look at a car, does it fit what I feel a person would think that is, versus it's me or a 6-year-old kid or, a 78-year-old man, hey, cool gasser. Okay. That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what it is.
Yeah. I guess that's actually,
we don't care about a lot of the silly parts.
That's actually a pretty cool way of looking at it, is in call it 100-foot rule. If you can look at something and say, is that a gasser or is that a pro gas car? The 100-foot rule you could pretty much nail that every time, because you're going to know what the way the car looks, whether it's got a straight axle or not, just the way they have to be built,
right.
Versus low and low center of gravity pro gas style car.
My car's 55 Chevy, and I think there's a pro gas car that races with you all. It's a 55 Chevy. It's a beautiful car, and you put the two next to each other, it's pretty clear what's what.
Very clear. You're talking about Mike Cutler, I believe, right? The black or the red and white one. Yeah, 100. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's I think
next to each other. It's pretty clear.
That's what the
people in the stands care about.
Right. The 150-foot rule. Yeah.
200-foot rule. They're not gonna sit there and say, "Oh my God, that car's got aluminum block. I'm out of here. I need my money back," and get up and walk out.
Yeah,
could care less.
It's as simple as using the 660-foot rule I just made.
It's like, how far away are we going to get here?
Yeah. So if you're at your house,
And that whole but that whole argument about the 8th mile nostalgia, I see it on TV thing. It's like most races you see on TV are 8th mile. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
Like all that straight axle, or all that street outlaws, all that stuff. That's all 8th mile guys. All of it's 8th mile. And to be argumentative about it is if you look at those guys don't want to run quarter mile because it blows their up.
Yeah.
And I self-bleeped myself. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I saw that.
TV, I mean, their sub 4 second pass takes about 15 seconds before it goes to commercial. So sure, it looks like they're racing from here to the next county, but they're not.
Have you ever went back and listened or watched the original Street Outlaws? It has like IndyCar noises.
Oh yeah.
Are we looking at your finger?
No.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I was looking to make sure my battery wasn't running out here.
Well, actually, we hitting our mark anyway.
So the best thing right now, then, Shane, we've have you on the show. People have seen your face now on this podcast. If they have questions or they want to become a member, how do they get a contact to you?
Well, there's a Facebook page that's Nostalgia Gasser. I'm on Facebook. Find one of us. You want to be a member, go to the NDRL website. I'm not sure when this will air, but you can sign up at the PRI show in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be at the PRI show.
Yeah.
If someone sees you out there, are they okay to come up to you and say, "Hey, buddy"?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have information at the NDRL tent. So you'll see Butch, myself. That's pretty easy.
Okay.
I think we're going to do a little contest, a membership drive, if you will. Try and get
like the old time telethon
between now and
we should
a couple weeks before the first race in St. Louis and have like a little drawing of some kind.
Yeah, we should do an online telethon, like a live stream telethon.
Have people on the phone. The phones.
We'll put people back here with telephones, like old school rotary telephones, answering. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
We got a member pledge.
We ain't shutting this down until we get 500 members.
We've been here for 7 days.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I honestly think if there's a guy that can make it happen, it's going to be you. But quickly, before I let you off here, let's give me some predictions of what you think your class is going to look like by, let's say, the first race. How much? Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you beyond the first race. I'm going to give you to the second race. What kind of membership do you think are you wanting, or are you striving for to try?
Are you asking
reach?
for memberships or participant?
Well, membership is really, I guess it really needs to be the difference of, but the quantifiable number that we really need to strive for is going to be membership, because we really need the class to grow. So let's talk membership. Now, to give you some context, Pro Gas, which has always been the biggest class, this last year we had probably, let's say 65-ish.
Well, we had 78 members.
Yeah, well, I'm saying after the first race.
First race, though, I mean, we were
60, 65.
The second race we'll have 20.
Okay. Hey, it's very realistic. I think you're going to have more. I really do.
I hope so, but they're realistic.
That's a realistic number, but I think I foresee you having 30 plus is what I'm thinking.
I'd like to say.
Oh, no. Okay, I think we lost our guest.
He's still looking at us.
But hey, because more than likely we've lost him, what we're going to do is we're going to just say what we think.
Okay.
I think 30 plus. Let's do a little side bet. Me and you, $20.
Okay. Second race or first race?
Which one do you do?
Let's do both.
Okay. Well, that's $20 each one, or we have to have best out of 3,
or average it.
Average 2?
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Let's just say second race.
Second race, I'm going to go 33 members.
33 members. Paid members, 33. Okay. So the second race does make more sense because it gives them an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 26.
26. Okay. Are we doing prices right rules?
Can't go over.
Let's go closest to.
Closest to.
$20.
Yeah. So 26 and 33.
Yeah, well, it's locked in. We're here, man. I really appreciate him coming on. I think we dispelled most of the misnomers.
Yeah.
If that's really still a thing, I'm not sure. If it's not a thing, it's a thing now.
Yeah.
I think he is going to do a good job of threading the needle that getting this thing off the ground is going to be a monumental task. I think he's up for it. And arguably, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this provides us.
Man, it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
Man, NDRL has grown so much with the classes, and now we're right where we need to be.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it. Next year's going to be one for the books, man.
Yeah. Let's quickly, off the top here, let's talk about some of the big sponsors we have with NDRL right now, and then we'll sign off.
All right. Well, one of the biggest ones is Larice. They are the ones that, they are race car people.
Yes.
And so they insure your car. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but I mean, they insure your car. If it's at home, got stolen or got wrecked or whatever at home, they cover that. But they also have on track.
Yep.
So if you wreck it while you're racing, they will cover you.
Well, I know a lot of people that wish they would have had it.
Yes, absolutely. But they also are the ones that give us the big award, like the best package for the weekend, and then the perfect package.
And they also are our premier sponsors. So
so they're one of them. Yes. We also have Sunoco Fuel on. They give the race winners for each class 5 gallons of their race fuel, whether it be methanol or race gas. We have so many other ones. Walker, Summit, JR1, Phoenix, Hotheads, Performance Automotive, who builds our engines. They have our engines right now, matter of fact. Lucas Oil, Stroud, SRI, Fest Eddies. I mean, the list goes on, and we're going to try to.
We'll hit on what we'll do is in the future we will try to pick 1 or 2 of them and really talk about them at the front or back half of the podcast and tell you exactly what they do and why you should be using them, et cetera, et cetera.
Because these sponsors are the ones that make the NDRL work.
100%.
You cannot do this with an empty pocket, and so we do want to talk to them or talk about them. I encourage everyone that's listening here and that races with us, visit these guys, talk to these guys, buy stuff from them guys so they can further us, giving us sponsorship money so we can continue racing.
And that's not in our pocket. We make nothing. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
Zero.
We make zero on this. We are here because we love not only the sport, we love the NDRL. We're passionate about it because we're passionate about it. This is something we love, like we love our family.
Yeah.
So we want to see it grow. We want to see it make sense. So please, if you haven't done it already, go sign up to be a member. Telethon here. It's really simple. NostalgiaDragLeague.com. If you go to membership and then join renew, there's 2 places you can either be an associate, you can be a driver. Both of them different price points. Both of them give you membership to the Fantasy League, which we've just talked about. That's going to be a lot of fun next year, and I'm super excited about that. Also, if you are on a platform that has comments and likes and subscribes and you're listening to us, please do all of those things. It's going to help us further this cause, which also helps the NDRL. It helps everybody. Yeah. Plus, it makes me feel good. You want to make me feel good? Come on, please do that. Other than that, I think we're about all we need, right?
I think we're done, man.
Okay.
I mean, we were hitting over an hour twice.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like I'm in the saddle.
You're in the saddle. We're back in it, baby.
I feel like we're in a groove now.
All right, man. We are Line Locked. We'll see you next time. We're out.